started. Gundam fight all set. Ready? Go!
Well, folks, the weekend has come and gone, and Monday has come to a close as well. And it is time for the Mechpit chat. How we doing out there, folks? I know as we kind of jumping into the swing of things, like right off the bat, but that's how we roll around here. We don't want to wait to talk about some big robots and all that stuff happening because, well, there's only so much time in the day. Hello, everyone out there. This is Ironcaster coming to you from the Mechpit HQ. And with me today is one of my frequent guests here, Mr. Dash Attack. How we doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing pretty good, all things considered. It, like I said, the weekend, it was a pretty chill weekend. I kind of, hung out at the house here. I've been kind of getting back into the swing of things over with, I played a little bit of World of Warcraft and kind of jumped off that after a while. I'm like, yeah, I think I've got my fill of this. Maybe I'm gonna come back to play Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, nice. Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm. Gotta get that raid mage action going.
Yep. Oh, by the way, if you're doing 14 again, you should join my raid server.
Let's see. My current characters, I think, is on Coral from like the Crystal servers. So I don't know if that'll be an issue or not.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if I'm on Crystal or I think I'm on the Primal server.
All right. Well, we can get this figured out off air.
All right.
Wait. But of course, we got out here in the chat a few people kind of getting me a little bit of hazing, such as Vince Womack, who's like asking about some issues with the launch tubes. Like, no, my friends. We had a couple of issues with like getting some videos uploaded, and I was trying to find some of the some of my little favorite clips here. I wanted to make sure I could share with you guys. A couple things I had to show off a little bit and tease, like like this old classic. Like, believe it or not, I actually do try to get a thing or two done during the week. Of course, we have Agent Decibel, who's the resident villain expert out in the chat there. Who's someone who who's someone who I helped introduce to Gundam and got to learn the greatness that is Xeon. But he's not the only one who I was kind of getting to finally get into some Gundam and get back to the OG with the 0079 and Universal Century. Dash, I believe this was something we were talking about a little bit before the stream. So,
yes.
Okay, so you were kind of teasing a little bit that you had you were kind of starting to kind of jump into a little bit of what we like to kind of consider the main timeline of Gundam.
Yeah. So like I'm not sure like how much of like the spin-offs are just alternate universes or continuations of the original. But so my knowledge on Gundam is very, very limited, but I do know like I saw a little bit of like Wing when it was on Toonami, back because it used to like come on around the time DBZ was coming on. And I actually did play this Flash game that was on Cartoon Network's website that I don't believe exists anymore. But it was a cool little strategy game they had on the Cartoon Network website. I used to play that.
I remember that one too, where it was based on the Gundam Wing stuff, and you would be right around with like the wing kind of moving between I think like the like it was like a little 3x3 grid.
Yeah, it was like a little mini chess game. Oh, you actually.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, trust me. It's one of those not Magellan effects. What's the South African guy that
Machiavelli?
No, the ones where everyone seems to remember things wrong. Like the Bernstein. Yes. Oh, thank you.
Those Bernstein Bears, the Bernstein effect.
This is not one of those Mandela effects where we're starting to remember this wrong here. Like, no, I distinctly remember playing this game. I also remember at one point there was a Dragon Ball Z variant as well.
Really?
But anyway, yeah, it was kind of a little basic, simple strategy game where you kind of plot out and kind of move across this little grid, and you either get to choose to move or attack or defend, I believe.
Oh yeah, I think that is how the game worked. But yeah, about the so yeah, so I'm watching part of the movie on Netflix, so I know like some of the events might be very different, but basically it starts out with basically just like establishing the war, and then like just showing the Zeeks or whatever they're called, like basically just killing a bunch of innocent people, like blowing up an airbase, like sneaking into the station.
Or as we like to say, we do a little trolling.
Yeah, so nice, scared our protagonist. His name begins with an A.
Amuro Ray.
Amuro. So yeah, Amuro. So he gets dragged out by like his girlfriend, and this cute little robot, and then he just happens to find an instruction manual and a prototype weapon. Just in the midst of all the chaos, he finds both. He just happens to find both.
There is a little bit of a there's a little bit of a over condensing of it, but yeah, by and large, there's a lot of sort of convenience there that you have all this chaos is going on, just as he's also finding the instruction manual on how to pilot a Gundam, which kind of goes to show you that, like, guys, maybe there is something to reading the instructions once in a while.
But yeah, like one thing like I noticed, like with the film, even though still have an hour left of it, is that like the kills, like you actually do feel like when someone dies, like it feels like impact. It doesn't feel like just cannon fodder like you would like in a lot of like other war shows or war anime. Like it's just like you actually like you have people like screaming for their lives as they like blow up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the kills are pretty brutal. But what you've been going through is the first of a 3-movie set to kind of bring the audience up. There's a movie trilogy they put out after the original series had aired. That was a sort of retelling and kind of cleaning up of the original film, the original 43 episode series. And it has its own little quirks to it. Like, I think for some reason, Bright is British. He talks with a British accent in it, which not quite expecting that, but okay. But yeah, it's also it works. I think as a good serviceable and kind of more condensed approach to want to kind of get in and kind of get the gist of what is ultimately the core chestnut of the larger franchise, of what is sort of the initial seed that all of this Gundam has ultimately sprouted from.
Yeah.
So with that said, what have you thought about so far? Like, what was your kind of context or understanding of Gundam sort of going into this, and how has that held up for you?
Oh, yeah. So I never really knew too much about like the factions or like how the franchise was structured. If it was all alternate universe, alternate iterations of the kind of like how like Devilman has a lot of iterations of that are just exactly like the same story like retold. But yeah, so I was expecting like I was expecting war, maybe like it's actually not as like political like as like the Age of Heroes, the Age of the Galactic Heroes. Like I was expecting it was going to have a little bit of that, but no, like it's pretty action oriented so far.
So just to kind of give you a little bit of, I think I feel like a context that might be beneficial, but you don't necessarily need to know. A lot like Yoshiyuki Tomino, the godfather of Gundam. Uh, him and his generation grew up in that post World War II Japan, so they were growing up in a time that was having survived and gone through the horrors of the the pu- the cleanup of Japan.
I can see the inspiration of that in the film. Like, just like the themes expressed in the film, the horrors of war. Like,
Mhm.
it definitely gets across. So yeah, I think he conveys that very, very well.
And it the other thing as well is before Gundam and sort of the series of this era, you would have a lot of series that would have the big robots as sort of the plucky friend that is going to be there to help save the friends. I mean, you've got your Gigantor and Astro Boy and all these other big super robot animes like Tetsujin 28 and etc. All of these had come along, and but they never looked at it and supposed, well, the giant robot is basically just the next evolution of tank, which is largely what the Gundam acts as.
Yep.
It and I mean, furthermore, you also have ultimately a child being kind of drafted into the military, now having to be the one to pilot this thing. And at the end of the day, he doesn't get a choice in the matter. He can throw his little fit, but if he doesn't if he doesn't get slapped around and get straightened up, everyone's gonna die. And by the way, speaking of, we need to go ahead and get a little bit of a that going on.
I saw that part.
Trust me, it never quite get old.
Oh,
And
he slaps him again too.
yeah, oh, it's like, you're a selfish brat, and
Coward. Called
Mhm.
him a coward.
My father never hit me. Well, yeah, but you weren't in a war. You didn't have people trying to come after us constantly. Now you have to get in that Gundam, and you have to go out there and kill another 37 soldiers.
It was so funny because I was watching Leon's stream with the Eggman voice actor, and they were talking about, like, the generations, and, like, kind of like the whole everyone gets a trophy thing, and that, like, like it kind of like the weakening of society, and, like, it kind of like, and then as I was watching that part, after I tuned out of the stream, I was thinking, like, yeah, that kind of relates, because it's essentially what he's saying, that, like, he was sheltered, and he needs to grow up now.
And yeah, that's exactly it. So Amuro is this curious character, but with all this going on, they don't shy away from showing the horrors of war. Like, I think one of the most influential elements of Gun I think one of the more iconic moments, especially this early part, is the reentry scene. That's always stood out to me as as something that's gonna really stick with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the re-entry scene, like with the going, the one guy burnt up and died.
He thought he could try to be a hero, and Amuro says, "No, I can't have this. If you had stayed away, if you had not tried to be a hero, you would have lived." And then all he can do is burn up and cry for help, only where he's not going to get it. And there's Shar telling him, like, "I'm going to make sure to that you didn't die in vain."
Yep, that's exactly what he said. Oh wow, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I do like the nuance, like, with it, like, they kind of like say that, like, both sides are being like dirty players in this war.
And I feel like that's also an important thing that gets shown off. Uh, when you start getting into more of the nuances and start kind of checking out a lot of the other stuff around it, you start seeing that there's neither side is wholly good or wholly evil. There are good Xeon people, and there are bad Federation, and vice versa. The same is also true. There are the selfish, ladder climbers of the Xeon that are gonna make sure to backstab and betray each other because they think it's gonna give them that leg up.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about our main man, everyone's favorite, everyone's favorite antagonist, the
Uh,
man who started a trend, Shar Aznable?
I can see why he's become so popular. Like he's a great antagonist. I thought he was gonna. I honestly went in thought he was gonna be a protagonist. Like just how like much people emirate this guy.
Well, the funny thing is, once you go through it, I like to say that Shar is like the secret protagonist of the franchise, and you just didn't realize it at first.
Yeah, it's kind of cool when like the antagonist kind of becomes like a second protagonist. In some ways, it happens sometimes.
Mhm. And he's one of these characters who him and Amuro will both appear in multiple series after this. So Amuro and Shar are going to be these characters you're going to see quite a bit of in the years to come. They've become these iconic, greater than life figures. I mean, there's a reason why when we got a moving Gundam, it's the RX-78. It is
Yeah, it's the
Amuro's Gundam.
original. It's
Mhm.
it's the it's the original. I think they that same Gundam was in Wing because I remember it.
I think at one point it might have been. I think there was something about. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking. Okay, no, I'm getting myself slightly mixed around. When they were in the middle of developing, when they were finishing up G Gundam, they were in the middle of developing Wing, and so you got a brief shot of the Wing Gundam in that. Very specific thing, but I sort of
Yeah,
hyperfixate
like
on
I
this
said,
thing
I didn't
sometimes.
I didn't watch the show when it was on, but I did see it. It got heavily promoted, like on Toonami and stuff.
Uh, I guess where are we? Guys, DJ Ronnie, we are talking about the original Gundam movie trilogy. Dash has been going through it and kind of checking it out for the first time.
Yep, I said I would, and I'm doing it. I'm keeping my word.
So now you said you haven't quite finished it up yet.
Yeah, no, I'd still got an hour left. Yeah, I thought I could like get the whole thing done like in one day. I just like I had to pause, had to like do some things. It's also like it's just hard to read some of the Netflix subtitles because they blend in with people's clothing.
Oh yeah, they really need to do a better job of that because there's so many times where these companies will put on subtitles and they never like really kind of go through to make sure that it's not going to blend in with the background. It sucks. So, with that said, after you watch through this series, have you had any thoughts about continuing to watch any of the others?
Well, I remember I did try to order one series on Amazon, but then I got refunded a while back. I remember I was talking about that in the group chat. Forget which one it was called.
I believe it was one of the Build Fighter series,
Yeah.
which essentially is sort of a big love letter to the franchise and to the model kits that have helped to shape the fandom around it. But that said, there is a timeline that was put out, and let me go ahead and show this off for you and for the audience. Uh, and unfortunately, it means I have to go to Reddit for this, but that's the caveat.
Oh no.
Well, you know
Okay,
what?
try not to get banned.
Don't worry, we won't be talking about the mean Mr. Musk out there. So, uh,
No websites. Ah,
but
nice. A nice comprehensive timeline. It reminds me of my Zelda timeline.
now the nice thing with this is each one of these lines is a clear like timeline, so you have an idea of what's in its own thing. And for a franchise that's been around like 40 years now, 79, we're basically talking almost 50 years at this point.
Yeah.
It's 45 plus now. There's been so many little entries, a lot of comics. There's been all sorts of little things getting filled in the mix. But if I zoom back in, Oh wow, there we go. Here is the main timeline. This is the Universal Century that we were talking about. And what you're watching through is currently some film adaptations of this one right here, the G Gundam.
Oh, so it's not even the first.
No. Before that, Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin was, I think, a comic that was like a little series that got put out about 10 years ago. And I personally think that it's something that's best watched after you've at least gone through some form of the original Gundam.
So this was made years after.
Yeah,
Okay.
this was about 10 15 years ago.
Chronologically, it fits. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's best that way because now you've been introduced to Char. You'll get to see a little bit of the Gundams, the Amuro, etc. And it's a good way to now go back and see what is Char's motivation, what made Char the man who he is. But speaking about making the man they are today, we have someone in the back here. Let me drop a little video for him.
Oh, you gods! My roast is ruined.
But what if I were to purchase fast food and disguise it as my own cooking?
Hey,
I hate how that's my clip. Like I burn food all the time. I just burn food with the suspenseful Gundam theme in the back. Oh. But yes, Char making the man himself, which is a hard thing to do. I know because I'm building the freaking cosplay, which is a nightmare. But
oh, nice.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you are literally making the man.
I am making the man, and I'm trying to turn into him.
He's got a sick outfit.
He does. The epaulets are freaking badass. I revamped the front rank insignia that goes on top of the cape, and now I had to do all the collar devices too. I'm just like, there's so much. They're bad at the uniform's awesome, but it's just so much.
I mean, look at this man. How can you deny like the swagger?
Yeah, I do. It's very similar to that. Obviously, he's not a captain in that one. He's like it looks like he's a first lieutenant in that one.
Char has become such an icon of not just anime, but of sort of entertainment as
that's
a
the
whole.
Origins, isn't it? That's from Origins.
That's the Origins.
So that's Junior Officer Char.
He's become such an icon of this that he literally created an archetype, the Char clone.
Ah, yes, the infamous Char clone.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, there you go. So this is sort of like a little 6-episode OVA that builds up to the original Gundam.
Yep.
And it's fantastic. You get a lot of that kind of like crunchier sort of behind the scenes stuff. You get to learn about the Anaheim electronics. You get to learn about literally the decision to make the Gundams or to make mobile suits into weapons and the first deployment of them. The Minovsky particle. There's a lot of kind of neat little things they've worked into it all.
They're setting the tone for the war that is to come, which is the original series, Mobile Suit Gundam. But yeah, this Gundam Origins is pretty much the origins of Char and the tone and setting the tone of the war. So as you said, yeah, it's a great watch.
Mm-hmm. As well as you're getting to see some of the motivations for what's going on with like the Zabi family, with some of the larger politics of this world.
The TriStars, what's his name? Oh, shit.
He's like a red comet.
Yeah. Makuve, of course, our favorite boy who should have lasted a lot longer. Oh shoot! Dang it!
Garma?
Was it? No, not Garma. Garma had it coming. Sorry. Oh shoot! He's in a goof. In a goof.
Oh, Ron Burrell.
Rumbarel, there. Thank you. I can't believe I was spacing on Rumbarel.
But as you can see, he's gone on to create quite a number of these clones across all this.
Yeah, I obviously
They're all
Char is the
stealing his
OG.
drip.
Mm-hmm.
Which
He-
one's your favorite besides the OG? Can't pick the OG. You have to pick. A clone.
I mean, the thing is, Zex Marquis has become such an icon
yeah,
that it's kind of impossible to ignore him.
like Zex Marquis almost trumps freaking Char himself. He is almost an upgrade. It's kind of
but-
hard because Char is of three natures. You know what I mean? Like Char from the original series is vastly different than Char from Zeta, which is Lieutenant Quattro Vegeta. And then obviously Char from Char's counterattack was completely different in itself again. So it's like, yeah.
Real quick, we have someone else jumping to the back here. So without further ado, he has to also steal some swagger here.
Hey,
Hey.
So I don't know if it's a clone because when there's 4 Vegetas, Quattro Vegeta, I don't know if it. Yeah, those are clones of them themselves. Like
Maybe
Hey,
Dragon-
Quattro Vagina.
yeah. Well, no, like the Dragon Ball. I've never watched a full episode, but I hear they battle clones, and now we're talking about Char clones, but then there's Quattro Vegeta or something, or
Oh, this
Vegeta.
one's updated. Yeah, this is an updated one because it's got a Mama Char clone.
Oh, that's for all the Gundam basement dweller builders who have mommy issues. Am I coming
One of
into
my
hot?
favorite characters. I just say it's like a really good character out of the show. That's
Yeah. And I have a confession to make on that. I don't know if I've said this actually on air before, but I actually like some of the grunt suits, and I don't even the Ariel's all right, but I like more of the grunts from Witch Mercury, and I've bought actually quite a few of them.
of course you did.
that one at the way bottom kind of looks like a Virgil clone.
Oh, the second one.
Yeah.
I can see it.
No, like the one at the way bottom. Yeah. The one with the blue mask.
Yeah. A Mask. His name is literally Mask.
Oh. Wow.
I mean, to be fair though, we also have like Mr. Bushido, and we have Full Frontal. So I mean, like the names get kind of silly. There's literally a guy named Iron Mask.
Yeah, Mask and Iron Mask seem a bit derivative, if you know what I mean.
Story and plot. The Japanese do amazing. Naming the character. I just say.
Yeah, some of these are straight, like, some of these aren't even just Arch type knockoffs. They're just straight, like, design knockoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Wait a second. This person, his power level's over 20,000.
They knew.
What are you? My name is Fruit Salad.
Toss it.
They knew exactly what the audience wanted. They wanted big robots, and they wanted a guy in a mask.
I do like the 80s nod to the aviators with Quattro and Jamil. Although he's the only there's only one non-blonde. I guess there's 2 non-blonde. Well, 3?
4 non-blondes.
And thank you.
Yep.
I'll oop that.
Oh, of course. We look. If there's fruit, you got to pluck it. But
I thought there was going to be a clip on that one.
Well, what you want a clip? You really want a clip? I don't think you can handle the clips.
Reload.
Get the flamer. The heavy flamer.
Nice.
Well done.
I may have been delving into a little bit of Warhammer this weekend as well.
You know, being on Brandon's show on Saturday morning and the 50 times we had to repent, I think,
Mhm.
it started, wearing me down.
Look,
Oh,
you can
man,
only
I love the
repent.
repent meme. Who started it? Hypnotic?
Maybe I think it might have been from like one of the if the Emperor had text to speech clips, and then I mean if you want the specifics here, but
Oh yeah. Well, the origin of the clip. No, I just like when did it start becoming an in joke in our circle?
like it's one of these things where you find a good little clip, you kind of drop it in, and before you know it, you just keep hitting that button, and you just keep going.
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
That's cruel. My
By the way, did you guys see last week where Detroit flooded?
No.
No.
Oh,
I'm not surprised that a city like that would have some mismanagement.
all right. So basically, what had happened was a water main had broken just as like we got hit by a flash freeze. Near.
Oh wait, I did see. Yeah, you're right. I think you showed me in the DMs.
Yeah. Here, no, don't do that. I'm just gonna give the audience a chance to see this, but we're gonna turn the mute because you don't want to hear sirens for the entire thing of like alarms going off. But this was crazy.
Oh, wow.
And it all froze?
Yep. So it is wintertime, and Detroit is really cold.
Oh.
It's actually colder than where I am.
Yeah.
Actually, Ironcast is not too far away from Detroit. Well, a lot closer than I am.
No, I'm like
about
an hour or so out.
Yeah.
Still closer than us, but
A hell of a lot closer than us.
Yeah. Actually, it was kind of nice today. It was like it damn near hit 50 degrees.
Yeah,
it was warm today. Even over here was really warm. It damn near hit 50 degrees. All the snow was starting to melt a little bit.
We hit 65.
Lucky.
It wasn't that warm, but it was still warm.
Fair enough. Like, went to Chipotle and ate outside in 50-degree weather in my hoodies. Mm-hmm.
We went to Chipotle.
I go to Chipotle.
Well, I mean, it's not quite
oh my God.
Tex-Mex, but it's, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, DJ Ronnie G. That would definitely be an ice house, not an igloo.
Ice house in the middle of Texas. Ice house
in the middle of Ice Street.
That's the one. So, I got a whole bunch of little tabs up here, and I don't know about you guys, but I love to tempt people to spend money. Money they may not have.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And, well, we all love a good crossover, yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How cross are we getting?
Well, how do you guys feel about Monster Hunter?
I don't know because I haven't really got into it or the lore, and I feel
I've tried a couple of the games. They're not really for me. I can't really get into the routine.
Yeah, it does take a little. If I have time for it, they're fun, but.
Well, how would you happen to feel about a Transformer of the Rathalos?
Transformers X.
Yep, Rathalos Prime.
Is it more than meets the eye?
Oh, it's a big old dragon. And it's actually not that bad for price.
Oh, is this only Hasbro Japan that's doing this though?
No, this is actually going to be available, I believe, internationally. So we will be able to pick this up. I just kind of wish that it was red, because I think this thing would look better red.
Oh my God, they should.
Well,
honestly, they should do a new.
Paint.
They should do a new Beast Wars. They should do new Beast Wars. This is sick.
Yeah, I'm with you right there because the tooling on some of those Beast Wars, the show was great, but the figures are weird and clunky. But the technology they have now, and also, is this what Hasbro's doing? Because they said they were getting out of the toy business, but just the Disney toys business.
Well, Hasbro's been kind of starting to lean into more of a sort of order as will. And they've got a bunch of stuff going right now. For example,
Yeah.
with speaking of Transformers, one of the big kind of Kickstarter Transformers they have going on is for Leo Kaiser out of Transformers Victory.
Okay. And I guess this is what I'm getting at, and you're leading right into it, is the fact that they're still doing a lot of stuff that just isn't straight Western. And you know what I mean? And so like there's so many people that are talking about what they're not doing instead of focusing on what they're still doing.
Have you seen the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering cards?
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, that was another thing that was kind of going on. Hasbro's been leaning more and more into doing a lot of crossovers. They're trying to turn a lot of their stuff into these, crossover brands.
Well,
and with that in mind as well, there's also we're seeing more synergy between D&D and Magic. They're doing a set coming up based on Lorwyn and Shadowmoor.
Okay.
Oh, nice. I got their Greek book for 5e.
Yep, Theros was another example of that. But yeah, that's just sort of been where Hasbro's at. They're looking to try to maximize on this. And one thing that did kind of stand out to me is I was talking to my brother today, and I was asking him like, "Hey, how's he doing? Is he happy with a lot of the tabletop stuff?" And he was telling me he's starting to get annoyed by all of the crossovers, the collaborations. As big of a Spider-Man fan as he is, he doesn't want to see Spider-Man and Magic.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say that because there are people that are trying to build systems. I think I told you about a guy doing the D10 system where these big conglomerate sci-fis where you can build all these things into, and it is created to be this Fortnite sort of silly interaction because that's what it was. But when you have something as, I don't know, a pillar
established,
yes, since Magic started 92, 93 was the first edition of cards.
Yep.
So 30 years, and now you're just like, we need to compete with Fortnite or Call of Duty and all this mishmash, or it seems like they're devaluating.
It's the mobile game strategy. You do a crossover with a brand, hoping to pull fans of that brand into your game. And,
right.
And it works because I'm tempted to get those Final Fantasy decks just because they look really cool. The Cecil one, especially.
Ooh, shiny art of a thing I love.
Punkwaddle,
wait,
they beat
huh?
you to the Fortnite thing.
How much is this?
Can no longer available.
Wait, is this real?
Yes, this was a thing that came out, I want to say 2022.
Okay.
Oh my God. They need intervention. If you're doing Fortnite cards, you need an intervention with your fucking brand. I'm sorry.
Well, this is when Fortnite
Final
was
Fantasy
peak.
at least made more sense.
You said it was 20 or 22?
2022, I believe.
Oh, okay. I think that was when I was playing Fortnite with Steam and stuff.
Fortnite was like 4 or 5 years old. That was pretty peak. They were very established. You had so many pro gamers, and still there's still people that play it, but like Ninja and all of them it was a huge thing on Twitch and all the other streaming platforms, right?
Look, now we got Hatsune Miku coming in, just like she's also coming into Fortnite.
Vocaloids?
Yes. Well, specifically Miku.
Wow. Okay.
Well, you see, the Final Fantasy at least made sense because it's the same genre. But yeah, I see a Tyranid, Magic cards, Doctor Who.
I mean, she's a magical girl.
In a magical world.
The game's called Magic. Yeah.
Well, being Magic, it's fantastic. I was trying to go with the Barbie thing here.
Has there been a Barbie Magic?
No,
Oh,
I'm trying to riff the Barbie song.
I know
I'm
what you're
open
trying to
for-
do, Punkwaddle. I'm just being
Stop,
sidetracked.
stop
You can
fighting.
draft my cards and play with anywhere.
See,
Building decks.
see,
Like,
Ironcaster gets me to spend my money, and I get him to go on my tangents. It's a very happy
you can
symbiotic.
tap, you can lay, and I'm trying to,
You're trying to riff it.
trying to make it work. But
Riff it good.
But that said, so the Final Fantasy stuff isn't just a couple of pre-con decks. It is a full expansion. They are doing a full set release. So
Okay.
here's for example, there's like a dual deck coming out, so you have a Cloud and a Sephiroth like playing each other.
yeah, there's the Cecil cards. The Paladin one especially. I just love it. He's one of my favorite characters.
That said, I would say if you might be better off just going for the commander decks so you can get the kind of the basic pre-con stuff. And if you are going to go the route of getting getting into it, wait for the secondary market, because this is already looking to be one of the most successful sets just from the pre-order standpoint. There will be plenty of loose cards around. So you'll be able to get your Garland that transforms into Chaos. With us FF14 people, we'll be able to get our boy Emmett Selk.
Oh yeah, he's in Shadowbringer. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Oh.
But yeah, I see he's in a lot of memes. So nice.
Yeah.
We got Cactar. We still don't know like who else. I know they got a Final Fantasy 6. Yeah, the Noctis Fishing. Oh, there's more down there. There's more down.
These were some of the initial ones that we saw. And look, there's your Stola.
Oh yeah, my waifu baby. I remember, like, she was the first Scion I met because I started in Lominsa, and I fell in love in that cave. Oh, did I say that on stream?
You may have,
no.
but it's okay.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I think we all fell for Y'shtola. She was sort of the everyone's cat mommy. But yeah, no, that's kind of where Magic is at, and it is in this place where they are really trying to. Here, let me show you this, for example. As I go over to this, this is a website I use on occasion for Mythic Spoiler. Now, I've been out of Magic for quite a while, but you could see just all of these sets that have come out, and as well as all of these. Here are sort of these crossover sets: Dungeons and Dragons, which we got 2 of those. More about Baldur's Gate, Warhammer, Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who, Fallout, Assassin's Creed. There's a Marvel set. Like it doesn't stop.
Wow, they're
and ultimately they're going to do like what you're seeing sort of with Dungeons and Dragons, where it's kind of going to be this sort of generic playground where anything can be done.
Oh my God, where are the Gen 4 My Little Pony cards?
Oh, that was a Christmas card.
It was a Christmas card?
I'm pretty sure.
I have a question. Are these like full sets or just like expansion packs, boosters sort of thing?
Oh, these down here are all the full expansions.
Okay.
But then you have like sometimes little bonus cards, or these are some of like the specialty multiplayer sets.
They should do oh man, they could do like Mortal Kombat, they could do Castlevania.
So, for example, here's Doctor Who. Here's all the cards out of this set.
Okay.
Oh, my Ninth Doctor, yes.
Yeah, if you notice, we still refer to them as their proper titling.
Yeah.
William Hartnell is the first
Doctor. Nice.
Didn't they do something like with the Lord of the Rings, but they made Aragorn black?
Yeah. It was their version of Lord of the Rings.
Okay, yeah. I was just all like,
They got flack for that by a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot of big YouTube meta was the black Aragorn. Like, oh my God, look what they did! Black Aragorn!
They massacred my boy.
It's a piece of art
It's
that
one of those-
still
it's
gets
one of
used
those I
to
don't
this
really
day.
care too much, but also why? You know?
Diversity and inclusion and DEI.
Yeah, Hasbro has been one of the most captured companies in terms of that.
Well,
aspect.
just because they own Wizards and Wizards is like so fucking infected, it's like crazy.
Yeah. Wizards is infected with
Like Workgate happened and Wizards just freaking now they're not even in the freaking monster manual anymore. They caved so hard.
Yeah, they've kind of tucked him in the back, and you just got to get told, "Oh yeah, just reskin this thing and call it an orc if you want to be racist and go that way." But it's a little frustrating, and I will say for myself, like,
oh my goodness! Why would they do that, especially in February, which everyone knows is Orc History Month?
Well played.
I mean, what do we do in Orc History Month? We usually go on adventures slaughtering orcs, but still, come on, guys.
Well, we honor grunge.
Yes.
For myself, I'm still kind of looking to check out some of the stuff. I'm going through some of the Warhammer 40K novels right now. I'm kind of enjoying that stuff, and a part of me is like, yeah, I wouldn't mind checking out a war game, but I know as bad as Games Workshop can be for their own nonsense, I don't have to support them. I don't have to go full in and make the mistake of supporting a war game where we gotta drop a new like $60 codex every 3 years.
Games Workshop is infamously very, very greedy. Like I've dabbled into Warhammer. I have a Tyranids army. They're my main. The Nom. But yeah, so you've just started getting into 40K?
A bit, yeah. So let me ask, which edition did you play, Dash?
Oh, which edition? Well, I played like an older edition because my high school teacher, who I'm actually he's the one who's playing. I'm playing the new edition of D&D with. I hooked up back with him, but he used. I went to a private school, and he used the school's budget to have a Warhammer elective. So that was my first exposure to the game, and it was really awesome.
Good man.
Well, so like I was saying, when it comes to the alternatives, there's a lot out there. I mean, for example, Dash, you and I are playing Old School Essentials, which is a retro clone throwback to old school D&D.
Yeah, and it plays pretty similar, and we're all having a blast. We even got a new player.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, folks,
blasting a new player, awesome.
My I've got a link to my Discord. Kind of gets dropped in every now and then. I run a weekly game over there that I generally keep as an open table. If you want to come in and try it out for a session, we can make that work. You're welcome to come join. That said, I've been looking at some alternate rules stuff, and one of those that I was kind of eyeing up with war games in mind is one-page rules.
Mm-hmm.
And Dash, if you happen to have your Tyranid army for yourself, for your minis, this is something you could go ahead and plug those into, because this is essentially a basic free rule set to be able to run games with.
Interesting.
And they have grimdark, some fantasy, firefights. You can have skirmish. You can do war fleets.
So this is like 40K indie. Nice.
Yes, because one of the things we've learned from D&D is you cannot trademark a rule.
Mm-hmm.
It's the expression of that rule that can be specifically claimed ownership of, like the way it's written out. However, you can go in here, check this out, download the rules. They call it one-page rules because it is one sheet of paper, front and back, for your basic rules.
So it's not like a big ass book that you have to comb through to get all the rules.
Yeah. So if we go look at the sci-fi stuff, you have Grimdark Future and all their factions. Why, look, what's that first thing, Dash? Alien Hive.
Yeah. It's like monstrosity alien. Oh yeah, they even have biological weaponry. Like, yep. I wonder what they're supposed to be. Oh, they look sick though. Nice.
And one of the nice benefits to this as a war game is it's miniatures agnostic. So you could take your old Warhammer 40K miniatures of your Tyranid army, and you could run it with this alien hive as sort of its own separate thing. Which there are some rules for point building for your armies. But you could also just as easily just play this using pop caps and little paper cardboard cutouts.
Excellent.
Or you could always go to the blooming audience and market of all these 3D printers people out there, people designing their own miniatures and selling their own custom designs. There are these little blooming like independent people popping up to who just love an army idea. They want to make it. As for myself, being the sort of the mech guy that I am, like all my big robots, I've been kind of leaning more towards the Necrons.
Mm-hmm.
Necrons are cool. They have some really cool technology. I did they were the first army I ever tried actually.
So as you can see over here on the one-page rules army forger, you can go in, build pick your alien hive, go in and buy some STLs, buy physical minis, which they sell over on Etsy. And here's all your special rules for how the faction plays.
Okay.
Your spells, your units, so you can go and pick your points out for your army, and it's all right here, it's easily available, all free to use. This has been a good little alternative to what has been a large monopoly in this, entertainment hobby space, and it's been growing.
Nakatuma.
Decibel, if you wanted to, you could use your hero clicks. I know you've got some hero clicks there, so you could go and have some kind of like you could build up a monkey army. Yeah, he used to tell me how he would play. He would build up these hero clicks armies of just monkeys, just to mess with like his kids and the other people.
Admirable.
It's not the Tuma.
Not the Tuma.
But
it's a monkey.
But yeah, that's kind of been where I've been at. It's kind of looking and kind of enjoying myself and in my little spaces, not trying to conform to the big stuff. And just having my fun, because I don't have to conform to you. You have to convince me to give up my time.
Yeah,
besides monkeys.
That is it enjoyable? And if it is, it's worth my time. That's how that works.
Yeah, exactly. And every now and then you might find out some little surprising news, or you might get a little bit of excitement. One of the things I've been really enjoying myself is going back and check out some old films. And among those, I've taken a big penchant to a lot of old school horror. And I don't mean your slasher films. I don't mean the 80s like Silent Stalkers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. No, I'm talking about the older ones. We're going back further to where we just had, a little bit of blood and sort of a lot of buildup of the story to it all. I'm talking Hammer horror.
Nice.
Oh.
And as it turns out, we have a new Hammer horror movie coming.
It's their first movie in 60 years.
Yep.
What were they doing all that time?
That's a very good question. Let's see.
A lot of hammering, less horror.
Coming to us from That Park Place, and written by Raven Redgrave.
Oh, yeah. That's right. She started writing for them recently.
Nice.
Yeah, I had her on my channel recently.
Oh, really?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like I had both of them on. Her and her husband.
I don't catch their stuff enough, but they definitely are making waves and have lots of good things to say.
Oh, is it
Master of the TDS?
Master of the TDS.
Yes. Okay,
Sorry.
so yes, thank you. I could
Raven.
never I can never remember the name she went by.
Yeah, Riding Raven.
Yeah, right.
Gotcha.
Raven and Master of TDS. They
No.
are a good pair of that.
After 60 years of waiting, horror fans are finally getting a new monster movie from this historic film studio. As horror news site Bloody Disgusting stated, you can't talk about the history of horror without talking about Hammer horror. And they're absolutely right. Hammer Films has helped define the horror genre of cinema since 1934. One of the many classics is Dracula, Prince of Darkness, which starred the legendary actors Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. And for a time, these two were like movie magic, where they would always be on screen together, where one's playing the villain, the other one's playing the hero, and they're going back and forth trying to kill each other on screen.
Yeah, I gotta watch these. I heard these were really fun Dracula iterations, and it's I know it because AVGN did talk a lot about how good these movies were, and how they both ended up in Star Wars at two different times. Oh yeah. Peter Cushing was Moff
In the Star Wars, in the Star Wars, in the Star Wars.
and Christopher Lee.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Snacks. I don't have Snow
You don't
Dubs.
have them. No. Yeah.
No.
Yep, Dooku and Tarkin.
It was either that or the Heavy Flamer. But anyway, Dash, please proceed.
But yeah, it's just fun, trivia that, they had this, on-screen thing, and then they both ended up in Star Wars at two different times.
The thing that largely happened was after the 30s, when we had the original Dracula, the original Frankensteins, which, by the way, guys, in the next 10 years or so, those movies should be hitting public domain. So we're talking the Bela Lugosi Dracula.
Oh no, what if someone makes an indie horror film with those properties?
Okay.
Well, I mean, the thing is, those characters have been in public domain.
Well, I mean, that's the joke. That's the joke.
Oh,
so
okay,
how everything that hits public domain gets a horror movie now. Did you see the Popeye trailer?
Oh yeah. Oh, I haven't seen the trailer. I saw that it happened. I'm like, why is it always horror?
I don't know. It's just the thing. Everything that hits public domain gets
people who do horror do things. I don't know.
But the thing about the Hammer horror movies, this Dracula, Christopher Lee's Dracula, he made Dracula sexy. And it was in color, so we got to see that blood, and we were starting to sort of push the boundaries of the ratings board. So we would get to see a little bit of booby. That was one of the appeals of Hammer Films at the time.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, wouldn't you? Let's check in the horror with a little bit of the.
Well, if the horror part gets you an R rating, you might as well just
And get some TNA in there.
Yeah, just go check it out.
If you go the hard R rating, you might as well,
get a little TNA in there too. Yeah.
But looks like it's going to be a Wendigo movie. Is just kind of based on this.
Oh yeah, that's a cool monster to do.
Which is one that really hasn't been too abused as far as trying to make movies based on that.
Yeah.
I know that if nothing else, the fact that this is a Hammer film is probably going to get some more attention on it. And I mean, the fact is, we're here talking about it now. So
yeah, the most
good job on you guys.
The most pop culture exposure Wendigos have was, an early episode of Supernatural and the video game Until Dawn.
Also, there is the Marvel comic character Wendigo from Alpha Flight, but here I am citing Alpha Flight as a popular known Wendigo when it's Alpha Flight, and unless you're super into X-Men, you have no idea who the fuck Alpha Flight is.
Aren't they Canadian?
Yes.
See, I knew that much because there's a couple other odd. It was back in the 90s, mid to late 90s, when you went to KB Toys and you were on the third or fourth run of certain X-Men or derivative X-Force, and you have these characters that you've never seen in the cartoon, but it's but they're all the only ones you can find. You're like, but I just want to buy an X-Men toy to play with and my other X-Men figures at home. And I don't want to get that really weird mutated Spider-Man. So you get him and you're like, he's cool. He's got some cool accessories, and you have to figure out who he is.
He appeared in like one episode of X-Men, and that's why he gets a figure.
Mm-hmm. Like one of those where Cable's time traveling and he's in like 1 or 2 frames as they pan over to something else.
He didn't say sorry. That's apology horror.
Mm.
But so I do have one last little thing here I wanted to show up just because I thought this was a fun little story, and I wish good things like this would happen for me and the rest of you too, I suppose.
All right.
A batch of boxed and never used Sega arcade cabinets were uncovered in Memphis.
Ooh. Wow.
What game was this?
A box of them.
A box of what game is it? Sega Fighter Vipers. It's just a whole crate, and they were just sitting here.
Yeah, there was like 7 of them just like in the back of a warehouse.
How long were they there for? Since the 80s?
At least, because this doesn't look like a more modern,
No.
doesn't
They look
a
like
more
they're in
modern
good
design.
condition. They look like they're in good condition.
They still got the plastic on. They have probably never been plugged in. So these are pristine, mint in box, literally.
Oh my god! Is
Either
someone
that
going to
was-
auction them?
Probably. Either that was a fluke or somebody knew what they were doing.
And they're only asking $500 per unit.
Oh, yeah. The first come, first serve, and then you're going to see them on eBay for bukus.
Is the game any good?
It's one I've never heard of, so it's probably going to be just sort of a so-so. But you know that someone's going to take that thing and go retrofit it to be a more modern retro.
Oh yeah, they'll just put some ROMs. I've seen people do that.
The cabinet itself is going to be worth more than even the game on it.
Well, the issue, and one of the big concerns there would be like, what if mice got into there and started chewing wires? You got to go through that thing and make sure it's good. Well, you probably want to just plug it in and see if it'll work to begin with, but
yeah,
the regular GameStop check is just like, okay, you saw this game. Let me just put it in and it's like a PS2. They dust off the PS2 and they're like, oh, it does work.
And then they'll offer you $5.
Yeah. Hey,
or I can give you 15 of store credit.
Yeah.
Oh, is that mint in box? I'm sorry, we have to open it to be sure.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're selling it back, if it's brand new, we have to make it used.
It hurts. It hurts to think about.
Well, yeah, and I've thought about, and I hate to say this, around snacks, but the PS5, it feels like it's got some good stuff, it's got some bad stuff. I'm just wondering when the Switch 2 comes out, I'm just gonna go get rid of that and go hog wild in the Switch 2 land.
Yeah, he didn't friend me on PS5 yet.
I did accept your friend request.
Oh, you did? Okay, I didn't check.
Yeah.
That makes me the asshole now.
Yeah. I figured out how to find my alerts after 2 years.
There was a story I was just kind of catching out today about how after the Final Fantasy VII, remake Part 2 had dropped on Steam, it blew up to like the third most bought game for the quarter it came out in. And you had people out here trying to say that was somehow still a failure, even though it's selling insanely well on Steam.
Oh yeah, that's just cope.
Yeah.
Which it's so silly because PlayStation fanboys are convinced that like PlayStation is the greatest thing ever, and that everything should be a PlayStation exclusive. They don't want competition. They want to be the king of the mountain and get fucked over because there's no competition.
They're like a rare like breed. Like a lot of people have just kind of gotten over the console wars. Like I used to be a big Xbox fan until just disappointment after disappointment, and now like I'll never like be like an Xbox brand. Like it's practically dead now.
They're not even going to sell consoles. They're just going to sell streaming boxes that you can plug your controller into that has some storage for the game.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's ultimately going to be the Netflix service of video games, because you're going to be able to just pick it up right on your Amazon tablet. You're probably in the next 5 years, you'll probably be able to just get it like bundled into the Roku TV with like a controller for that.
Well, it's like what they try to do with Netflix and with all these other. We're gonna add a gaming service, like Twitch, Amazon. No, it's gonna be integrated with Microsoft, and you know what? They're probably gonna make bukus of money because people are like, oh yeah, I can just get this little.
It will do better than Amazon's own attempt to do it with Luna, because they had to basically admit, like, yeah, we can't unseat. We can't go ahead and unseat Steam. Like, they've had a 20-year head start just by being just pretty good at what they do and not trying to actively fuck over their players.
Yeah, well, like I said, Microsoft at least has a name. Xbox, Microsoft, they're all kind of the same, obviously, at this point. So you're going to have, like you said, diehard fans in the way that consoles were. Remember those Mac versus PC, Android versus Apple, like, you're going to have a bunch of people jumping on board. I have high-speed internet. I'm just going to get the Xbox thing and stream games. Well, your internet's down. What are you going to do? Burn a book?
They also said, that 16 was a failure because even though, like, it actually did better than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PS5, but not as well on PC.
And I think in part, one of the big things that would certainly help, and I think you're going to see this especially with Square Enix, is they're going to step away. They're getting away from the exclusivity.
Yeah, they needed to.
The big thing they're going to wind up doing is they're going to have to distribute these games on multiple platforms same day, because it's you're spending all this money on marketing anyway, so you might as well just
like
try to cast that
double effort. Like they had spent so much money marketing 16 for PS5, and then like the PC campaign, like, well, they made some really impressive custom PCs that they were giving away in a contest that looked like the icons. Like they had an Ifrit PC and a Bahamut PC rig. They looked really nice, but like that's only like if you won the contest.
Yeah.
And it's good marketing. It's the kind of marketing you do ultimately want to see coming out of these things. But the problem is they're just so tied to what they realize is a bad deal, and ultimately you've got people who are so blindsided by saying, "Well, Final Fantasy used to be an exclusive to us," and it's like, yeah, 20 years ago that made sense.
Yeah, like PlayStation is a completely different brand. They screwed over the whole Japanese market for this like casual cinematic Neil Druckmann experience with the making like samey games, and they barely had any Japanese support. Final Fantasy was it, and even then, like like this was more of an action-y Final Fantasy game, like almost like a spin-off anyway. Still really good game.
It's one I'm going to get to eventually, but I mean, my play is so full, and I have enough games.
Yeah, I know. I have like my backlog. That backlog. The backlog is. I know exactly what you mean.
The backlog is heavy and hard to flush. Yes.
I like big backlogs, and I cannot lie.
And the thing is, like, you keep buying because you're like, Well, hey, if I just wait long enough, this game that I wanted to check out will go to like $20 or less, and I'll just pick it up then.
Right. Like I said, I don't know how many games I'll buy this year until we get to Black Friday, and all of the games that have done really, really well that are still in the market that are still hitting bid will get a decent discount, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll just save up for my money for that
Yeah,
because
I gave Brandon the anime guy, I gifted him the complete version on PC
For which game?
for 16.
okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm not sure if he's played it yet.
I'm just kind of going down my list now, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to get to some of these. Let's see, King of the Fighters 14 is $9. Galagun Returns is $10. There's like 5 Sonic games I need to get to. 6.
I keep up with the Zelda, and well, I didn't really play Tears of the Kingdom at all because it's just it turned into Minecraft, and after playing 4 hours to get through the original plateau part, which took twice as long as Breath of the Wild, it just kind of, I don't know, it was hard for me to get into and want to do another game like that. Like the Persona 5 or the Persona games, that the JRPGs, when you really have a storyline, when you have characters, and then as it develops, you get more characters with backstory that add to the story. It's like, okay, cool. But when it's just, I don't know, I'm doing the same thing I did last time, but you change the equation the way that I loved Zelda, right? It's a different game. It doesn't appeal to me anymore. I got to find something new, and obviously Borderlands peaked at 2, right? So, I mean, Borderlands 4 is going to come out in the fall, which, once again, maybe by Black Friday it'll be $10, and I'll see what it's about.
I mean, the thing is, like, the backlog is real, and the wish list is still ever growing. At some point, I look forward to playing Space Marine 2, but I'm going to wait for a sale.
Mhm.
And, in the meantime, I do at some point want to get in there, just go, like, screaming off and, having all the racial epithets as I'm screaming about, like, all the filthy Xenos.
Yeah.
I will give this one caveat. I know I've said a bit, but like when they try and push all this games as a service and buy the Game Pass, and we've seen it. It's on Game Pass, people play it, and then they have the physical release, and people are like, I don't need it, I already played it, right? So you're losing those sales. Conversely, though, if you don't have the internet, you don't have the time to play everything as it comes out, and it's a games as a service, and it's online only sort of thing. If you 6 months to a year later, when you finally get to it, what are they supporting? Who's still playing the game? Is it worth even jumping into because you didn't get the release date hype?
Yeah, like the Nintendo Switch online games. I'm very glad they added the Golden Axe games because I've never played them, but I have my backlog. I can't get to them.
Mm.
No, not Golden Axe. Golden Sun.
Okay.
I got them mixed up.
But I get your point. I mean, it's like with the gacha games. If you play those, it's like they actually have a storyline where if you're free to play and you want to earn the stuff, but then they have all these live events, and you don't want to sit there and play hours and hours on this gacha game that could disappear. So it's like you slowly work through stuff, and then you don't even get to the story, and then it just feels like a chore.
Yeah, that's what happened. I was really into Final Fantasy War of the Visions, but then the second part, I beat the part 1 of the story, and then the second part, it was too slow and repetitive. was focusing on 2 completely different characters, so I kind of just dropped it. And also, Square Enix mobile games, they seem to have the worst lifespan. They come and go.
Purge the mobile games.
Well, and that's why another reason why some of these gacha games, it's like, okay, I have spent money on Fortnite. I won't lie, but the Hoyoverse games, like I'll play and earn stuff in game currency, but I'm not going to spend money on it because even though those actually are probably some of the prominent ones that have stuck around longer than others, once again, I've already invested more than I probably should have in Fortnite. But if I spend that much more in another online service game that could disappear at any point in time, it's like I'd rather have the Gundam, right? I'd rather have the toy, the figure, the probably more metal builds than I should have, but it's something tangible.
Well, the big mecha gacha game right now is Mecha Break, which just had a beta go live today.
Okay. I was wondering when that was going to launch.
People seem to be enjoying that from the little bit I've caught of it, but maybe we'll check it out. I'll try and check that out later this week.
Okay.
But
is that beta on PlayStation access?
I think it might only be PC and Xbox.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
it's okay.
I could be wrong, though.
I have an Xbox somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
I know where this one is.
Yeah, it's under about an inch of dust.
Oh, it's not that much.
No, it's only a liter.
We're just changing metrics.
He's just salty because I can't find my Gundam breakers.
It's under a light year of dust.
I know. How dare I want to play Gundam with my friend who likes Gundam?
It's weird.
That's okay. We will find it. That or I'll gift it to you at some point. I'll have to be like, damn it.
Yeah. I'll resell it to GameStop and they'll have to open it up.
And then you'll get store credit. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yay, store credit.
Probably me.
Because, well, okay. When we talk about online games and mobile games, GameStop in-stores credit, unless you use it that day, you're kind of concerned that might not be valuable in 6 months either.
Game stonks.
Stonks indeed. Oh, hey, a Polymese minion.
Well, folks, I think we've had a lot of fun tonight, and I want to thank you guys for coming out. And I think this might be a good little place to call to a close for tonight, as we settle in, maybe go catch some anime. I know I've got an episode of the Red Ranger Isekai I got to go catch up on.
That one's good. Not as good as last episode. That one had a lot of what was it called? Bond infusion.
Yes, the implied bonding.
The implied yes. I was just like, yay, he did it. Literally.
Aside from that, also Shangri-La Frontier's been pretty good.
Yes.
But with that, I think we should probably go ahead and draw it to a close. So, Dash, what do you have coming up this week?
Well, probably be playing more Yakuza starting Wednesday. Been really enjoying that game.
Nice. Little pirate action.
Yeah. And as of that, I don't have any like specials or shows like lined up. So just regular streams, Unicorn Overlord here, Pirate Yakuza there. Yeah, loving the game. It's I'm not really big on the Yakuza series, but I've been really enjoying this one. And I think I just got there's a ton of mini games, tons of like things you can do, but I'm also like really into the story. Like it's a simple story, but no, it's just been a lot of fun.
Awesome. And that's sort of one of the nice things with the Yakuza games, is all the little side stuff. So it feels like a lived-in world.
Oh, it definitely. And it's definitely, I think, because what I've been hearing about Avowed is that the world is very, very static, which is like bad for like an immersive game. Whereas like you do they have this whole thing where you wave to people and get them on their social media, and then like if you see that person again in the street, you can their respect for you will grow, and then they can possibly join your team at some point if you keep waving to them every time you see them.
For a half second, I thought you were talking about Avowed. I'm like, isn't this supposed to be fantasy?
No. This is Yakuza. But no, in Avowed, you can't do shit. Like the NPCs are just decorations, from what I understand, which is ridiculous. You can't even kill the chicken.
What?
You can't even kill the chicken.
That's classic Zelda right there.
Like someone made a video of all the things you can do in Skyrim that you can't do in that are just better than Avowed. And then someone did the same thing with Oblivion, and it's like even basic things that were in Oblivion are just missing from Avowed.
And this is why people are going back and playing games that are 6-7 years old. That's
exactly
why they're the top trending games.
Yeah, the games that were around before they started their 7-year hiatus to create the penultimate game that died in 7 days.
Yeah, the $50 Yakuza game is a better pirate experience than the $70 quadruple A game.
You know, let's just say the Concorde used to be a bird that was prided. You know, they had planes. You know, you wanted to fly on a Concorde, but apparently they're more flightless and grounded than I am now.
Well, they don't fly to Concorde no more.
Well, their reputation.
They are trying to research a quieter way of going supersonic.
See, it all goes to the thing. It was terribly named. Anyway.
All right, so Snacks, what's coming up with you, buddy? How's the sewing going?
It was going a little slow. I had to do a redo of not a redo, but kind of like a just an enhancing on the rank insignia, and now I'm kind of mostly redoing the cape itself, and then I'm working on pretty much getting the tunic all set up. But yeah, that's pretty good. But apart from that, I've been actually I started a new marionette. It's turning out really well. It's actually coming together really fast. So,
is this the one that's tied in? Is this the one that's tied into what you got going on with the sewing?
Yeah. I'm gonna paint it red, and it's gonna be a Zaku, and yeah, nice. I might have that. I might do the marionette build. This one's a lot smaller than my first one, but it's still pretty big. It's I think I did the math. It's a 1/30th scale, so it's about 2 feet tall.
Dang.
Yeah. Not so miniature mini.
Yeah.
Which we need to bring to the tabletop.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
But all right, no, I'm looking forward to that. Post some pictures. Let's get a little bit of that good old social media karma build up as we show off the progress. Because I think the Twitter feeds would sure love to see little sneak peeks of that. I think that would be good for you.
Yeah, I've been taking some progress shots just in case I want to actually enter a competition. I'll need to do some like a build book with some in progress things, which I don't like doing, but I'm kind of forced to do it.
Yeah.
So this is like, yes, guys, I built this myself. I find it sad that some people like buy costumes and be like, I built it myself.
I bought this and I made a little tiny change to it. Now it's totally original.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you want to do, I think it's if you want to do a competition, you have to make at least 70 or 75%. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm making almost 100% of it. I think I am gonna buy some gloves. I might modify them, but apart from the leather gloves, yeah. Oh well, it's getting warmer. I might be able to glue at some point in time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Because if
Keep
I
us
do a
posted.
bunch of gluing, I kind of want to work outside. You know what I mean?
What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Like all those fumes are just you don't want to waste those fumes.
No, yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah. I love just destroying my brain cells. It's great.
You
What
could
were
bottle
saying?
them up
This-
and sell. Bottle the fumes like this is puppet building fumes, Gundam building fumes, and sell
Oh,
them.
oh, did put that
Yeah, that's called the glue itself. It's the fumes are in the glue.
like
But
Just already bottled.
no matter what happens, you're having a good time. You're like, yeah, this is the best looking puppet. It's going on. What are you talking about? The puppet's over here, huh? No. It's fine. I just gotta get the shirt fixed. I'm just like keep pulling on this
Ironcaster,
little
that's a
thread.
wild animal you got in your hands. That's not
He
wild.
loves me. I can fix him. Punkwaddle, what's going on? Aside from me like attacking myself with my own hand.
Well, filtering everything I could respond to that with about. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to stay positive, not worried about animals, puppet holes, or anything like that. But yeah, I need to. I realized that I forgot to. I'm trying to do the new segment of breaking the ice on Monday mornings, and I kind of forgot about that until midnight last night, and realized I'm not putting that out. But it's trying to be more consistent with that. Trying to stay positive, do my little shorts, and then my long form. I was talking a little bit about. I kind of got caught up with the gamer stuff on the Ice House about if somebody spends 200 hours, blah blah blah, playing video games, they're not worth your time. It's like, well, 200 hours is hardly anything and all that jazz. So I kind of went off on that. So hopefully didn't lose too many viewers. But going back to the philosophy.
Yeah, it can be a lot of hours. Depends on what it is.
But I mean, in the course of a year.
In the grand scheme of things, though, like 200 hours in a video game is nothing. Like, come talk to me when you get to 6,000 hours.
But like, how many hours?
I won't be able to talk to you because I'll be too busy playing that game.
I've clocked like 3,000 hours in VTuber Studio alone.
Right.
Congratulations. You have no life.
Yeah, all I do is stream and make videos.
Well, I mean,
who has no life.
Well, that's a little
You're
different.
socializing. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Like I play games online. Like I play Fortnite with friends. Like there's all these things of
like people socialize online now. Like it's just
I wish I could play Gundam with friends.
Me too.
Finding tabletop is very hard. I know that from experience.
Yeah.
Luckily, I do know, I do have a game shop, and even though we have to play like the stupid new Dungeons and Dragons, at least I get to see my old teacher.
Well, I guess for that, we always do have some of the other things we can fall back on, such as Tabletop Simulator over on Steam. So we can maybe, go ahead and crack up a few hours of that.
Oh, nice.
Tabletop Simulator. Oh, that's neat.
Oh.
Yeah, that's been a thing.
You can't play Warhammer. But in the meantime, though, Punkwaddle, let's get you a penguin VTuber model. We'll get Snacks a goblin one.
Oh yeah, that could work.
You're gonna get a VTuber model for Gator?
doable.
Oh no.
Yeah, he'd be crazy in 2 dimensions. But as for myself, coming up this week, I'll be on tomorrow for Talk Hard, where we are delving into the classic 1970s movie Westworld, because as fun as it is to watch a theme park full of where the main attraction goes wild, starts killing people. Dinosaurs were one thing, but let's make it a cowboy with a gun. Anyway, folks, I think we get out of here. On that, I want to thank you all for taking the time of your days to bring us into your Monday, which doesn't have to be as bad as everyone thinks. Like, don't let that Garfield propaganda get you down, because there's so many other ways you could be there's so many ways you can make that Monday better. And with that, folks, I'm gonna get out of here. Be good. Take care. Make it Mecha. Transform rolled out. Have that good times. And I'll come up with a better ending thing here.